My final year project is called the Social Media Project. The Social Media Project is an augmented reality app that shows how our consumption of social media has affected and changed over the years within different generations through Polaroid pictures via data visualization. My aims are to present how modern communication brings the generation gap through data visualization and Polaroids. Use data visualization to demonstrate figures, statistics to compare social media consumption from different generations, and also show how physical and digital interactions have evolved over the years through Polaroids and data visualization. So I chose to do social media and Polaroids because I saw that Polaroids were a passion that I have taken. So I love taking Polaroids, and I saw that by using social media, we're always on our phones. Alongside this, I also saw that scrolling through our phones and being on our phones a lot has taken away the way that we see the world. We don't really take the world as it comes. We don't really engage with other people because we're always on our phones. Um, Even if we're young or old, I see a lot of older people on their phones a lot as well. Now that we have social media, we're always scrolling through our phones and we forget the world around us. So the point of having Polaroid pictures in this project is so that whenever we observe the little things around us, Polaroid pictures are a great way as a metaphor for this, because we see that with Polaroid pictures, you have to always be careful in how you're taking them. You don't want too much sun, or you don't want too much darkness when you're taking a picture, just because the way that it develops, it won't come out right. So in this way, it's sort of the same with social media. Um, we If we spend a lot of time on social media, we don't really consider the effects that it will have on us, um, the way that it can affect our mental health, the way that we interact with our environment or the people around us. So with this project, I just want to kind of convey a metaphor to people that we need to be careful in terms of how we do things, in terms of how we consume social media, and the effects that it has on not only the younger generation but the older generation as well. So for my methodology, the methods that I'll be using would be data that I'll be collecting through questionnaires. By this, it will be primary research data, and I'll be able to create data visualizations through Vuforia by Unity. Alongside this, I'll be researching online statistics and information regarding on how to increase social media sites, and how it has increased our use of social media itself. And alongside this, I would be conducting interviews on a wide range of age groups of people, younger and old, and this will be able to help me see how their use of social media has impacted themselves. And this would be on the Polaroid pictures through the augmented reality app that I would be creating. So, through research and through different articles and different artists who have used social media within their pieces, I found that social media is used for different purposes, such as creating user generated content, like on YouTube and TikTok. Alongside this, it's to obviously interact and communicate with one another and keep up with the media, such as news, gossip, and music, etc. However, through social media, and even though it's used for multiple purposes, there are some things to consider, such as the generation gap, our carbon footprint, and our privacy. So through all of this, we are we don't know whether we are being surveillanced or not. We don't know if we're being watched, and this also comes down to whether our profiles on our social media are private or public. And there are some things to consider, and these are this sort of this little bit of research that I've come across. It's through observing what I've seen through what other artists have done, um, the way that they have depicted social media in their artwork, and it's safe to say that some people think that they can say what they want because they hide behind a screen. Um, modern communication can facilitate everything from body image to gender politics, unwanted pictures, and questionable censorship policies. And alongside this, it can influence our interactions and how we can express ourselves through communication. So, through this research, I've sort of come down to how the generation gap has been affected through social media. Older people now use Facebook a lot more than the younger people do. Um, I know that younger people use Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok a lot more. And also within the younger generation, there is that generational gap in terms of how we use social media. We mainly use social media for user generated content, whereas the older generation use it to interact with one another and also want to keep up to date with uh, what they're doing in their life so that other people can see what they're doing. Um, there is also the whole debate with the younger generation, and there's two types of younger generation at the moment. There's the younger generation that was brought up with YouTube, and there's the other generation that was brought up with Vine, Vimeo, TikTok, etc. So all of these sorts of things that I want to try and come across and try and portray the positives and the negatives of how social media can have on our lives. Um, the images that I put on my poster show what the augmented reality app could be like um, once it's done. But alongside this, there's so much more to do with not just statistics like pie charts and graphs and etc. that would be on the Polaroid pictures, but also videos and pictures and people expressing their views on how social media has changed their lives, especially in the pandemic that we're in right now, staying indoors and using social media a lot more than we did before. Our screen times have increased a lot more from people that I've asked. I've seen that uh, using social media is a great way to interact with one another, but it does have its downfalls with it affecting the way that our mental health can be increasing our mental health, our behavior, and the way that we socialize with other people as well.